say, sir,
Thank
about
you.
this topic.
Thank
But I welcome the bill.
Dr. Jitendra Singh to reply the discussion.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. At the outset, I wish to, through you, thank the honorable members for having furnished their valuable inputs, including some of the suggestions. Shri Digvijay Singh ji, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, Shri Abhir Ranjan Biswas ji, Shri P. Wilson ji, Shri Sandeep Pathak ji, Shri Muzamil Khan, Shri Ayodhya Reddy ji, Dr. Sevadasan ji, Shri M. Dhambi Durai ji, Mrs. Annie Yajnik, Dr. Dinesh Sharma ji, Sandesh Kumar ji, Dr. Fauzia Khan ji. Before I respond to some of the specific points raised over here, Honorable Speaker, sir, I wish to reiterate once again that this bill has been brought with the same spirit and the same resolve with which this government of NDA took over when Shri Narendra Modi was sworn in as the Prime Minister on the evening of 26 May 2014. And he had said that our approach would be to reach out to those sections of society which have not received the kind of priority that they deserved by the earlier governments. And therefore, youth was one of those categories. If you look back 10 years, sir, this government headed by Prime Minister Modi, I can say with certain amount of confidence, has walked the talk. And when we are talking precisely in the context of the youth-centric reforms, and to be more specific, in the context of the discussion this evening pertaining to the selection of the youth to various government jobs, also selection of students to different higher education institutions, there have been a number of decisions taken to ensure that A, there is more and more transparency, B, there's a level playing field regardless of whichever socio-economic strata a candidate or a youth comes from, C, that there is time-bound selection process, and therefore, you would realize, because as students of science, we have been taught not to speak without evidence. Within 3 or 4 months of having taken over as Prime Minister, I think it was just about September or October 2014, a decision was taken by the Prime Minister whereby we did away with the 100-year rule, which was a legacy, I would rather say a dubious legacy of the British Empire. We expected every youth to get his documents, certificates attested by a gazetted officer. And this is a rule which should have been abolished right away at the midnight of freedom. I don't know what was the reason to keep it alive for so many decades. But with the abolition of this rule, a message went across the country that, look here, now a new government has taken over, a new Prime Minister has taken over, who has the confidence to trust the youth of his country. And if we don't trust the youth of our country, how are we going to do business with them? If I don't trust my own children, ask them to get their certificates and mark sheets attested by a gazetted officer before I trust my son or daughter, how am I going to run the family? So that was one of the earliest messages sent by Prime Minister Modi as far as the declaration of intent of bringing in fairness in all these selection procedures was concerned. Soon thereafter, sir, in his Independence Day address from the ramparts of Red Fort, he gave a call for abolishing interviews in the recruitment process. You would bear me out, sir, as would all the members. There had been recurrent complaints coming that a certain candidate would get 100 marks in the written test and he would not find himself in the selection list, whereas someone else who had not done so well but was favored through the interview marks would make it to the mix. So there were allegations of nepotism, allegations of favoritism, allegations of corruption. It was not an easy decision to take. Many complained, how would we adjust our own candidates? Even from the political class, across the party lines. But Prime Minister Modi taught us we would fill in the gaps which have been left unfulfilled. We will step in where we are required to step in. We will go by the conviction and leave the rest to the discretion of the people of this country. And that abolition of interviews not only brought in a fair play or a fair chance for every candidate, but also brought in heavy savings on the state exchequer, which were involved in conducting interviews for years and years, weeks and weeks together. We had thousands and thousands of essays. Thereafter, sir, most of the examinations, we have important recruitment agencies like Staff Selection Commission, the Recruitment Board, the banking services, which we had inherited in 2014 from the earlier government, were conducting exams through OMR, optical marking. It was all transferred online. And that was done to ensure transparency as much as possible, at the same time to have a time-bound selection process system in place. And even today, whereas as far as the Staff Selection Commission is concerned, we have seen times where the one selection process will go on for almost 2 years or even more. Now it has been brought down to just about 7-8 months, and we hope to bring it still further. The endeavor is continuing. And very recently, sir, with the vision and direction of Prime Minister, we introduced the process of Rozgar Mela, so that the vacancies could be filled in bulk, 50,000, 60,000, 1 lakh, appointment letters being issued together. In all fairness, in all public view, in all virtual mode, 45 stations across the country getting connected. And therefore, it was there for everybody to see what was happening. And that in the last 10 years, sir, has helped us and is being visibly appreciated across the media, across all sections of society, even academia, that the level of the merit of the new appointees has gone up. Now, sir, in the recent months, which I mentioned in my introductory remarks, this is a bill which is possibly the first of its kind in the history of Indian Parliament. And I don't blame the predecessors. Maybe the founding fathers of the Constitution, the founding fathers of the Penal Code did not visualize such a situation happening, where we would be confronted with an issue which is ruining the future of the children, which is sacrificing the youth energy, youth power at the altar of a handful of selfish interests, and at a time when we have such a huge stake in our youth, whom we call the architects of the new India of the next 20 years, and who will be also determining the face of India at 2047. So we have a stake in this, sir. It's not, while we are doing this for youth, actually we are doing for each one of us. We have to reach that pedestal which we have envisaged for ourselves, which Prime Minister Modi keeps describing as Viksit Bharat. Then each and every citizen of India will have to contribute as much as possible, depending on his might, his potential, his capabilities. And therefore, we cannot allow any of the potentials of this collective nation getting squandered away. And therefore, sir, when we bring in this bill, we also have an ecosystem which is actually acting as a kind of a facilitator. It was optimum use of technology coupled with integrity, which was sought to be placed to the maximum extent. Prime Minister spoke from Red Fort, Start Up India, Stand Up India. From just 350, we went up to more than 1 lakh. Today, we are ranked number 3 in the world. I am not saying this. This government is not saying this. BJP is not saying this. The world is saying. I am talking only of the global parameters. As I said, I will not talk without evidence. In the Global Innovation Index, somebody was saying, where is our integrity? Where is our honesty? Where is honesty in the approach? In Global Innovation Index, sir, we were 81. Today, we have jumped 41 places, become 40. The world is saying this, not me. In the space sector, and this is all a part of these reforms happening, the continuity of which we are seeing today. In the space sector, sir, it is embarrassing to say, we were just one startup, one single digit. Today, we are over 190. In just 8 months, beginning from April 1st to 30th of December, we had an investment of more than 1,000 crore, private investment, because it was opened up, the shackles of the past were done away with. We were unwarrantedly keeping ourselves behind a wheel of secrecy. In biomedical sector, the bio sector, we were just 50 startups. We are now 6,000 startups. We are considered we have ranked to 5 top biomanufacturing countries of the world. The world is saying this, not me. No, what I'm saying, yes, I'll come to the world. Yes, ये घुमाना जरूरी है because so much of debate has been घुमाओ-fied. From fragile 5, if we are top 5, it is not me who is saying, it is the world who is saying. I am not talking, sir, I am not making any subjective statement. I am not saying on behalf of government, on behalf of BJP, I am saying what the world is saying. Today, Prime Minister visits Washington. Honorable Chairman, sir, the President of America solicits an Indian astronaut to accompany his astronauts to the International Space Station because they value the worth of our craftsmanship, our skill. So world is soliciting this. Today we are setting the deadlines, net zero by 2070. We are not waiting for others. Now, somebody was talking about what happened now, what happened then, because I'll take 2 minutes and then come specifically to these points also, sir. We were 1.5 almost decades behind the other countries as far as technology is concerned. Thambi Rai ji rightly pointed out. I'll come to that also. But before that, about the technology, sir. For example, I said I will not talk without evidence, and I will also not talk subjectively. I'll talk what the world says. Television happened in USA in 1950, sir. The famous election of 1960, in which John Kennedy dramatically defeated Richard Nixon, was determined by way of a TV debate. The whole world knows this. This is on record. In India, we didn't know what is TV, what is debate. We got the first glimpse of TV only somewhere in 1970. Same was computers. Today, we are as among 6 or 7 elite nations of the world as far as quantum technology is concerned. We are not behind anybody. We are his head. Today, our Chandrayaan, the Americans started before us, but today our Chandrayaan has reached the South Pole before that. So coming to that, having set the record straight, now specifically when I come to the points raised, sir, it was said by Digvijay Singh ji, which has been partly answered by Shri Thambi Durai ji. Emergency is known for a series of amendments brought in. I don't have to read it, then they'll again say you go back. But it is you who have raised this issue. When you took so many decisions which were reversed, partly which remain unreversed. You increased even the term of the Lok Sabha was increased to 6 years, which was again brought back when Morarji Bhai came. So among those dubious decisions was this one. It was a state list, you brought it. But you have the habit to run with hunt with hounds and run with hare. Our friend from DMK is opposing NEET. He had supported NEET. DMK voted for NEET when you pay.
One second.
Okay.
I'll take note of it. Please. Mr. Thambi Durai, what is this? Mr. Thambi Durai,
You were part of
please.
the government.
I don't appreciate this.
You were part of the government.
Please.
You are part of the government.
Please.
That is what I am
Please.
saying. That is what I am saying.
Please, Mr. Wilson, please. Take your seat.
That is, Honorable Chairman, sir, that is precisely what I am saying. That is the meaning of the proverb. Hunting with hounds, running with hare. They want to be both same times. Want to be part of the government which is passing NEET, want to be part of the government which is opposing NEET. So please, I would not have got into all this right now because when I began absolutely with a very apolitical approach because I thought this was a bill which was being welcomed across, and I in fact came with the appeal that this bill has been supported by all the political parties in the lower Sabha. This is the upper house, and I'm sure the elders will also bless it. But if you want to give it that till, then we have the answers. Now, about that's what I have to say about the concurrent list. Now, there was also an issue raised about the state domain being encroached. I think this is a government which has not only supported cooperative federalism, but it has also supported competitive corporate federalism. Soon after this government came in, Prime Minister Modi was the first one to support increasing the state share, because he had gone through the worst in the last 10 years of the UPA rule as Chief Minister of the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. And today, when we are saying, in fact, we are allowing the state the liberty to decide and in good faith advising that it will be good if you adopt this. We are not forcing it. That is the spirit of cooperation. Yes, but if you want to adopt it, our services, our support, our resources will be available for that. Then, Madam Yajnik has said she has supported, and I agree. But see, why we have DSP is that we have to function within the system. We cannot go outside the system. We cannot throw the baby with the bathing tub. So DSP means we have stressed this point that, look here, this is an investigation of a very serious and a sensitive nature. Don't let a junior officer handle it. So DSP will have a supervisory role. Normally, some of your FIRs may be dealt by a sub-inspector also or an inspector also. So that itself is a pointer to that. But of course, as we move on, we'll frame rules very diligently. I take your word, of course. You have a point in that we have to take into consideration everything. In fact, why I did speak was that was not mentioned in the bill, but when we set up the rules, we have, in fact, visualized and planned that we'll have something called like a National Technical Committee with experts from all those domains which you have referred to. And this is, I understand, and I go one step beyond what you have said, this is going to be a dynamic phenomenon. The issue of technology problems today may not be there tomorrow. It may be something else with the coming of artificial intelligence, other means. So we need to have a committee in place, a system in place, which will A, help us in surveillance, B, keep us updating, C, also help us in creating uniformity, because some of the members rightly said that the number of examinees has gone up, the number of persons appearing in these exams. There are lakhs and lakhs. The Staff Selection Commission has 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs. And the number of agencies are limited. Maybe in future we would look in that direction also. So when the subletting happens, the uniformity is the casualty. And of course, Dr. Fauzia was right in the integrity part. And I'm sure if all of us have that kind of integrity, then we would not require that kind of a bill.
No, on this point, the entire house must generate an ecosystem.
Yes. So
there must be greater morality in the society as such.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you, sir. That is in the spirit of what Bapu Mahatma Gandhi said. The non-violence is not the weapon of the meek and the poor. If I am meek, feeble, I am attacked by a strong person, I said, look here, मैं हिंसा का पुजारी हूँ, मेरे ऊपर हमला ना करना. That is not the virtue. It has to come within. It has to come through a value system. But till we evolve, and once we evolve to that level, we will not require Anti-Corruption Bureau, we will not require Vigilance Commission, we may not even require courts. But till then, we need to have deterrence, because we cannot allow the virtue to be eroded by the vice. We cannot allow merit to be hijacked by the non-merit. And we cannot allow the vital youth power of this country to be surrendered or to be sacrificed at the altar of handful few. So I am not going to take long, because already the honorable members have waited with a huge amount of patience. And when we will cover, of course, when we talk of service providers, we talk of the other parties involved. It will, of course, in natural course also, wherever required, cover the coaching centers, the impersonators. But very consciously, I am once again, before concluding, saying that we have kept the candidate, the bona fide candidate, out of the purview of the law. Be that the job aspirant, be that the student, so that the message doesn't go that this new legislation is meant to harass the youth of this country. It is only meant to deter those who are playing with their future, and therefore, thereby the future of the nation. So with these few words, I'm sure the entire House will, in one voice, support this. This is one direct step towards that direction. It's a dynamic journey that we have started. It will move on from one level to the other.
That the public examinations